Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's really cool to talk to you all, and I hope you're all well. I mean, today is actually the last session. It's a bit, to be honest, it's a bit sad. It's very sad. It's more than a bit sad. We've been having a great time. We've been learning so much. You guys have been loads of fun. You guys have been great at your maths. We've done some good stuff together. So it's sad, but I hope it has to be like this just because of the complexities around schools going back and what that means for me, Mr. Arnold's life and bits and bobs. But we're not going to leave you on your own. And this isn't like over forever. It's just not at the moment, okay? So let's just, there's some asks for the quadratic formula. I might be tempted actually to do that. But just before we go there, let's just focus on our learning. Let's focus on making sure that all the good progress we've made in the last 26 lessons, all the learning we've done, all the habits we've formed, everything like that's not going to go away. So let me start with the serious stuff. Let me show you what we've built you. Okay, so what we've built you, and I'm going to share this with you into the chat now, is we have built you a calendar for what you do in June if you have Hegarty Maths. Don't worry if you don't have Hegarty Maths, we've built you another one. So in June, we have told you each clip that you need to do each day. You do them at 2 o'clock. You spend half an hour on them. You do them in the same place we do these lessons. You watch the video and you do the quiz and you get 100% and you feel good about your life. But you do it Monday through Friday. You stick to the habit we've formed together here. We've done all of June. Now, all of June is higher GCSE topics. You type the clip number into Hegarty in the search and it will open up the video. You watch it, then you do the quiz. Then in July, what we've done is we've picked A-level topics. You won't learn these till A-level. Differentiation. We've done a whole 22 lessons there on differentiation. If you do that, you will have nailed one of the meaty topics in AS Maths. And it's brand new. You would never have seen it at GCSE. We've also done arithmetic sequences, 4 lessons on that, and arithmetic series. All of those are pure A-level. So for July, you have got genuine A-level stuff to get on with. Okay, so June is more what we've been doing so far, bridging. And then in July, you've got this extra bit of real A-level stuff. What's in August, you might ask? Look what happens. We've left it blank because what I want you to do is fill it in yourself. That's when you're truly independent. That's when you're truly empowered. To be empowered is to have the agency to do the right thing yourself when someone doesn't tell you how to do it. But we've helped you out because if on the last page you look here, what we've done is we've given you links to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sets of past paper A-level questions with answers. And what we want you to do is we want you to decide on what days you do the work. So, for example, Angela's written this up. Angela says, we recommend you do these at 2 p.m. each day between half an hour and an hour. And you decide how many questions you're going to do. So if I open this up for you, I'll just give you an example. These are all A-level standard questions. All the questions are there. And at the end, all the answers are here. These are top draw stuff. So not only can you see great questions, but you know the answers. So that's all there for you. So the month of August, you'll fill in yourself. But you must stick to Monday to Friday, and you must also stick to doing it at 2 p.m. every day in the same way. Now, what about the students who don't have Hegarty Maths? Don't worry, watch this. We've done the exact same thing. So I'm just going to post in the Hegarty Maths, for the Hegarty Maths people, I'm just going to post that into the chat right now. Give me a second, hold on. Just moving between screens here, sorry. So these are the people who have access to Hegarty Maths. Here is the link for you, okay? Right in the chat here. So make sure you immediately download it. Immediately download that if you've got Hegarty Maths. This is June, July and August for you. Well, it's only 2 o'clock every day. Now, for the people who don't have Hegarty Maths, what we've got is the following. I found an amazing teacher called Mr Ansett, who on Twitter is Mr Ansett. At Mr Ansett, and he's made a booklet that if you click this link when you open up the PDF, right, it's an induction booklet that takes you through worked examples and questions on all the bridging topics, all the ones we haven't done, and it's got answers to everything at the end. It's really amazing. It's got answers to everything over here at the end. right? It's so good. So what we've done is we've told you in June, we've picked higher end GCSE topics. We've told you what topic to do and what pages and what questions you've got to do each day. We've broken it up in a way that will last half an hour to an hour. So that's June. July, we've picked topics that are much harder and more A-level-y, functions, turning points and stuff. And August is the exact same as what the Hegarty Maths guys got. We've given you a list of topics here with questions and answers that you populate in for August. So for the guys who don't have Hegarty Maths, I don't want to leave anyone out or leave anyone hard done by. Download this one. Please download this one immediately so it's in your computer and it's somewhere that you need it. Okay, all the answers are in there. Also, make sure when you get that second booklet, you download the Google Drive link here and get it on your machine. Sometimes Google Drive links can change if someone updates documents, etc. Get it downloaded, get it on your machine so you never lose it. So I'm going to take a bit of a pause there. Sorry, I'm just flicking between screens so I can't see the live chat here. Can I ask a quick question? Does everyone who have Hegarty Maths know what to do in June, July and August? Yes or no? Does everyone who doesn't have Hegarty Maths know what they're going to do in June, July and August? Yes or no? Is there any questions that you want me to write in there about this to help you out while I'm still here? Because what I don't want to do is leave people anxious, unsure. Libby Edge, absolutely. You could use Mr. Answer's document as well. So you could download that one too because there's some really good stuff in there. Okay, it's good. Now, and Sim, if you don't have Hegarty Maths, that's what the other document's for. So have I posted the other document yet? Did I do that? I can't remember if I did it or not. So let me just repost the Hegarty document. For those students who have Hegarty Maths, I'm going to repost the Hegarty document now. And those students who don't have Hegarty Maths, here's your document again, just in case I forgot. I don't remember if I posted it or not. I've forgotten now. There's that one. So make sure if I download both of those and make sure you've got them on your computer. Now, the key is, if you listen to anything, right, that I'm saying, I promise you, please listen to me. If you're year 11 and want to do A-level maths, don't stop after today. Please don't do that. I promise you it's going to hurt you. You're going to regret it. Just do half an hour a day, Monday through Friday. Do the exercises we've set and you're going to be in the best shape ever for A-level. You're going to feel good about yourself. It's good to empower your brain. Your brain, remember I said at the first ever lesson, your brain's your most powerful asset. It's the thing that can give you the most, drive and potential in your life, the thing between your two ears. Look after it, invest in it, make it better and learn all the time. Never get too lazy that you can't learn every day. Look, I don't mind, watch a bit of telly and just chill out a little bit, over summer in August, because, that should have been your summer holiday anyway. But please do a bit of work. It's only half an hour a day. Please listen. If you do it, I promise you'll never regret it. And when I've ever let myself down in life, it's when I haven't consistently done a good job and I've left it to the last minute and I get all stressed and anxious and, I let myself down and I don't do well in an exam or I don't do well in a presentation because I've left it till the last minute. But whenever I just do a little bit every day, my confidence is high. I feel positive about my life. I perform well in my job, in my exams, or whatever it is I've had to do. And I can't tell you enough. Go back to that quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act. It's not something you just pull out of the hat. It's a habit. It's something you do every day by being good every day. Okay. I hope that's all good. Not quite Aristotle, Bradford. Not quite. Shall we go on to do a bit of maths then? If you guys are all feeling pretty good about that, let's finish off learning perpendicular lines. And then at the end, if you really want me to, I might sing, but I'm awful at singing. Shall we go on? Okay, I'll take that silence as we should go on. So let's go on now. Here we go. So today's lesson, we're going to get through this pretty quickly, so we might be able to sing a song at the end. Okay, remember, get your brain and attention, get your pen and paper, have a can-do attitude. All of what I say here applies to when you're on your own next Monday, okay? So we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. If you remember yesterday, we said two lines are parallel if their gradients are the same, didn't we? We said if the gradients of two lines are the same, then they're parallel. Perpendicular, let's just consider perpendicular. This line here, hopefully you can see, has a gradient of 1. As you go across 1, you go up 1. But this line here has a gradient of -1, right? As you go across 1, you go down 1. And these two lines are what's called perpendicular. If you was to get a protractor out, I don't know if I can do it on this screen here. Let me try and get a protractor out. If I was to get a protractor out, and hopefully you can see, if I twist this bad boy here, that is exactly 90 degrees between those two lines. And if you notice here, the gradient on this one is -1, and the gradient on this one is +1. Just remember that. Next one. The gradient here is a half. As I go across 2, I go up 1. And the perpendicular line to this was a perpendicular line because that's a right angle. That actually has gradient -2. So I'm going to write -2 and a half there. And what you'll notice is in the first example I showed you, if you multiply these two gradients together, if you multiply the -1 multiplied by the +1, you get -1. Just note that for now. And in this example here, if I multiply the -2 by a half, I also get -1. And it just so turns out that no matter what situation you have, if you've got two perpendicular lines, their gradients will always multiply to -1. So here's just one more example. The gradient of this bad boy is 2, and the gradient of this bad boy here is -1/2, and they also multiply to -1. So the rule you've got to remember for perpendicular lines is gradients of perpendicular lines, i.e. lines that are right angles to each other or intersect at right angles, multiply to -1. So what you've got to be good at is if I told you the gradient of one line was 2, you would have to quickly tell me what the gradient of a perpendicular line was. What number do you multiply 2 by to get -1? It's always what we call the negative reciprocal. Negative reciprocal. Reciprocal. So what you do is you think of a whole number as 2/1. You invert it and make it times it by -1. So it'd be -1/2. So if someone gave you the number 2 and said, what's the gradient of a perpendicular line? You'd say it's -1/2. If someone said to you, I don't know, let's say 7 is the gradient of one line. What's the gradient of a perpendicular? You should think of that in your head as 7/1, and the negative reciprocal of that is -1/7. If someone said to you, the gradient of one line is 1/3, what's the gradient of its perpendicular? The reciprocal of this flips the fraction, 3/1, and you make it negative. But you never write anything over 1. You would just write it like -3. So, and lastly, let me give you one more difficult example. If it was negative, I don't know, 7/6, the gradient of one line, and someone asked you, what's the gradient of the perpendicular line? You would invert this and get 6/7 and times it by -1. And it would undo the negative you've got there. So that's what you get. So all you've got to remember for today is if two lines are perpendicular, their gradients multiply to -1. One question in the chat for you here. If I gave you 7/15, what is the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to the line with gradient 7/15? Write that in there for me. Nice one, Jack. Nice one. And one more for the road. Let's just make it a bit more tricky. What if I said something like, I don't know, -3/2? What is the gradient of the line that is perpendicular to the line with gradient -3/2? Victoria got in there with 2/3. Exactly. Nathan got in there with 2/3. Exactly. Okay, that's what we need for today to get on and do some questions. So here we go. First question of the day, exam standard question. Here we go. A line has equation 3x plus 5y is equal to 21. A line L1, it says. And then it says the line L2 passes through the origin and is perpendicular to L1. Find the equation of L2. So the first thing we need to do, we write L1 out here. L1 is 3x plus 5y is equal to 21. To find the gradient, let's get it in the form y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to subtract 3x off both sides, get 5y equals, I'm going to write the negative 3x first, plus 21. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. I get y is negative 3 over 5, which is negative 3/5 x, plus 21 over 5. Because you have this, the coefficient of x is the gradient. So m in this case is negative 3 over 5. And that is the gradient of L1. But you're told in the question that two things about line L2. It goes through the origin, so we know it's got a point on it that is 0, 0. Origin is 0, 0. And it's perpendicular to L1. So the negative reciprocal of this is going to be positive 5 over 3. So its gradient is positive 5 over 3. And now you have everything you need to write the equation of the line. Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1 using that formula. Y take away 0 is equal to 5/3 x take away 0. Taking away 0 doesn't have any impact, so y is just equal to 5/3 x. And as easy as that, and surprised as you may be, this was an actual AS exam question. It was only 2 marks, so don't get. It's not like the ones we did the other day that was like 6 marks. It's only a couple of marks, but there we go. That was an exam standard question. Okay, over to you. An exam standard one for yourself. You can all do it. Off you go. A lot of answers coming in here. L2, like your style, Lewis, putting in L2 there. Y is equal to 7 over 4 multiplied by x, or 7/4 x. Let's see what I got. I also got that. Y was equal to 7 over 4x. So what a good start. Next one, tiny bit more difficult, not that much. Third one is a bit tricky. So let's have a look here. Next one, off we go. Oh, something's happening with my mouse there, not sure what. The line L1 has equation 2x plus 5y take away 9 is 0. The line L2 is perpendicular to L1 and passes through the point 8, negative 3. Find the equation of line L2 in the form y equals mx plus c. So a bit like before, it's just you've got harder coordinates and you've got to give it in a certain form. So start off with the line L1. Ooh. L1. We've got 2x plus 5y take away 9 is equal to 0. You want to make it in the form y equals mx plus c so you can see the coefficient of x to work out the gradient. Take away 2x from both sides, I get and add 9. I would get that 5y is equal to negative 2x add 9, just rearranging. Dividing both sides by 5, I would get y is equal to negative 2/5 x plus 9 over 5. Because we've written it in this form, this little bad boy here, this in front of the x, this m is the gradient and it's negative 2/5. So let's go over to L2 just like we did before. L2, we know two things about it. We know that it's got a coordinate on the line x1, y1 of 8, negative 3. And we also know it's perpendicular to line L1. So if it's perpendicular, it'll be the negative reciprocal of this. So the reciprocal of this would be equal, the negative reciprocal would be 5 over 2. So putting that into y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. We would have y take away negative 3. Be super careful there. That's where some people make mistakes. Is 5 over 2 x take away 8. So on the left, we get y add 3 is equal to 5 over 2 x take away 8. What I'd probably do there, I want it in the form y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to expand this bracket here. Y plus 3 is equal to 5 over 2x. Take away, what's 5 over 2 times 8? Like 8 over 1. There's a common factor of 2 there. So I'd get myself 20. So take away 20 when you expand it. Therefore, y is equal to 5 over 2x. So take negative 20, subtract another 3, would be negative 23, and we're done. And that's in the form required here. We wanted it in the form y equals mx plus c. We've done it. Okay, not to be honest, that wasn't that much harder. It's just that it wasn't the origin, so we had some trickiness there. Some people fall apart with that one. Be very careful of subtracting and negatives like adding. And some people also fall apart by 5 over 2 times 8. I know it doesn't sound hard when we're doing it together, but in the pressure of an exam, don't let your fractions and stuff let you down. That's why you got to be super good at fractions, because you just expected to almost do this sort of stuff really fast and without much pressure, without much intensity on your brain. Right, over to you. You can do it. Some good answers coming in there. Will, Mariam, Rory, Asmo, Amit, Ali, Anusare, Victoria, Suman, Ethan, William, Branwen, Askaran, Emma. Okay, let's have a look what I got here. So I also got, as many of you did, y is equal to 4/3 x take away 17. Y is equal to 4/3 x take away 17. Okay, I think Sim, what you might have done is instead of you use gradient 3/4, is you have to flip the fraction as well when you're trying to work out the perpendicular. It's the negative reciprocal, not just the negative of it. Okay, we've got another question now. This one's a bit more involved and was, I think, three or so marks when I saw it. So let's have a look at this one. It's not that difficult. It's just a bit more involved. Here we go. Next one. The points A and B have coordinates 1, 3 and 5, 15 respectively. Find the equation of the straight line which passes through 3, 7, like a brand new point, right, and is perpendicular to AB. So it's got to be perpendicular to AB as well. Give your answer in the form AX plus BY plus C is 0. Okay, so let me just briefly, I'm just going to quickly draw a picture here just to see what's going on. So we've got a point 1, 3, 1 across, 3 up, something like that. So that's A, 1, 3. And over here we've got 5, I don't know, somewhere 5, 15, something like that. 5, 15, which is B, 5, 15. And they've got a, there's a line between them. And we want to find the equation of the line that's at 3, 7. So somewhere over here, 3, I don't know, 7 maybe here, but it's perpendicular to that. So it would be something like this. It would be kind of doing that type of thing. What's the equation of that line there? That's what we're trying to find, okay? So the first thing is, why don't we just find the gradient of AB? So let's start by finding the gradient of AB. So the gradient of AB, okay, is the difference in y's over the difference in x's. Let's write down our coordinates that we know. We've got 5, 15. I'm going to write the big one first, and the smaller one, 1, 3 here. Let's work out the gradient. Difference in y's, 15 take away 3, 15 take away 3 over 5 take away 1, and you'll get 12 over 4, which is 3. Now that's the gradient of AB. So the gradient of this bad boy here is m is equal to 3. So the gradient of this bad boy is the negative reciprocal, which is negative a third. Okay, so having done that bit of work, you've got to do that pre-work. Let's park that and put that to one side, and let's consider the equation of the straight line that they're after, i.e. the line through, they're asking for the line that's perpendicular through 3, 7. So what do we know here? We know this must have a gradient of negative a third, and it's got an x1, y1 coordinate of 3, 7. So we just write y minus y1 is equal to mx subtract x1. We substitute in, so we get y take away 7 is equal to negative a third x take away 3. I'm going to times both sides by 3 to get rid of this. So I'd get 3y take away 7 is equal to negative 1 multiplied by x take away 3. Expand both sides out. 3y take away 21. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 3 is add 3. And if I want it in this form here, I'm going to add x to both sides and take away 3. So I'm going to end up with x add 3y. I've got negative 21. I take another 3 off. So I get subtract 24 is equal 0. Okay, and that is one way of writing your answer, where a in this case, the coefficient of x is 1, b is equal to 3, and c was equal to negative 24. You could have got it the other way around. Remember, whenever we do these, you could have had negative x, negative 3y plus 24 is 0. That would have been fine as well, where your a was negative 1, your b was negative 3, and your c was positive 24. Okay, so shouldn't be too difficult for you here. Shouldn't be too difficult. You've just got to read the question really carefully. I sometimes find drawing a little diagram just helps me contextualize the question, get it in my head what I've got to do. Makes words turn into something much more easy to understand in my head. So that's why I sometimes draw a picture. Help me out. Okay, off you go. You can do it. You're on your own. Okay, some good answers coming in here. Amit, Ethan, Asmore, Matthew, Ethan, Victoria, Branwen, Suman, Libby, Musha, Emma. Libby, loved how you caught up yesterday on those notes. That was amazing. That's exactly what you do. if ever there's a day you can't do your work, you'd have to double down the next day and catch up quickly. You don't just let it break your habit forever. So that was really cool seeing that. If there's some people I've never called out your name for, I'm really sorry. Like, I try really hard, but I'm trying to look at the screen. I've got a screen with all the maths on it, and then I've got the YouTube screen, and it's really hard to see both at the same time and make sure I don't make any boo-boos. So I'm sorry if I don't say everyone's name. Lois, Hannah, Lottie, Mia, Ashkan, Andrea, Esther, Lila, Ashkaran. Okay, let's see what I got then. So I got the gradient of AB was 7. If you got that, you'd probably give yourself a mark. If you then stated the gradient of the line you're looking for was negative a seventh, you'd get a second mark. If you tried to substitute into the formula, you'd get a third mark. And if you successfully tidied it up, you would get a fourth mark for that. An alternative for this would be negative x subtract 7y plus 37 0. That also would work. If you got that or that, it would work. I'm really proud of you, Mia Rose. It's such a pleasure for me and Mr. Arnold to hear that your confidence has gone up in maths. But do you know what it probably was, Mia Rose? More than anything else, it's just doing a little bit of maths every day. It's not really what I explained or anything like that. It's just the fact that we committed to ourselves to do a little bit of maths every day, and that's how you get confidence. That's how I'm confident in my life. When I'm working hard, when I know I'm putting in the hard work and I'm doing it on a regular basis, that's where I get confidence. When I leave things to the last minute and I rely on just winging it, that's when I lose all my confidence. So if there's a lesson to be learned, it's, being good and trying your best every day, and not killing yourself, by the way, not stressing yourself out and getting all anxious. Just doing good, solid bit of work every day is the key to success. Okay, slow and steady wins the race, Mariam. Exactly. Last one, actually. I'm just going to do the last. I did have a fourth one. Last one here. I just found this one and it came up and I thought it might catch you out. It's quite easy though, but I thought it might catch you out. It said the line y is equal to a over 5x take away 6. And the line y is equal to 2 subtract b over 6x are perpendicular. What's the value of AB? Now, the bit you've just got to get your head around is they've just been nasty here. The coefficient, the number in front of x or the term in front of x is the gradient. And in this bad boy, this term, it's got a negative in it. That's got a positive. They are the gradients of these lines, right? It's not the first number. It's the coefficient of x. Now, don't care that they've got a and b. It couldn't give a monkeys. Ultimately, that's the gradient. So on the one hand, you've got a gradient of one line being a over 5. On the other hand, you've got a gradient being negative b over 6. And we know if two lines are perpendicular, if we multiply the gradients, we get negative 1. So hopefully you can state that formula. Now, just multiply out the fractions. When you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators. A times negative b is negative ab. And 5 times 6 is 30. And that must equal negative 1. Times both sides by 30. So negative ab is negative 30. The question wanted the value of ab. So just times both sides by negative 1 to make it positive. ab is therefore equal to positive 30. I just put that in because I thought it was really unusual when I saw it. And I just thought I don't want this to come up and it have A's and B's in it and catch you out when we only did ones with numbers. It's not that bad, but I just thought I'll probably cover it just to make sure you guys are all right. Okay, over to you. Tell me the value of AB here. Lashman, Mushi, Jack, Asmal, Mariam, Suman, Victoria, DFB, blah, 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 I can't say it. Nameless, Mia Rose, Branwen, William, Rory, Ethan, Will, Abby, Anna, Hannah, Ella, Anuzare, Amit, Eva, Boyotic, Matthew, Ashkaran, Esther, Raphael, Jacob, Lois, Awad, Libby, Emma, Washka, Andrea, and I'm trying to say everyone's, Caroline, etc. What did I get? I also got AB was 28. So well done. I'm glad we did that, even though it was quite easy. It's just different, and I don't want you to get caught out by things that are just a bit odd. So that's our last question for a while. Any comments in the chat before we go? From I know I'm speaking on behalf of Angela here at Hegarty Maths and Mr Arnold and myself. We've loved doing this. Our ambition was to build a habit with you guys that you guys know that little and often work every day at 2 o'clock really pays off. If you're in year 11 and you're a bit, the things got you down with the exams going over and stuff, hopefully we just got a bit of that maths confidence back, brought a bit of that regularity back to your life. But I want you to keep going in June, July, August. So on that note, before I actually do anything else, I'm going to repost the packs. Please download these. Please listen to me. Don't ignore me. That's the pack for people who have Hegarty Maths. This is the pack for people who don't have Hegarty Maths. And I need you to every day at 2 o'clock go to the same place that you were doing the live lessons with your book open, write stuff down, watch the videos, write the examples down in the non-Hegarty Math pack, practice the questions and mark your work. And also, all these 26 lessons are always here for you again to go back to, because even, just doing these 26 lessons alone will give you good prep for A-level. But do not go cold in June, July and August. Please don't do it, because it will make me so sad and it will undo all the good work we've done. Okay, there's a lot of asks for the song. I cannot sing, right? So you know this. I cannot sing. But I will do it. I will try anyway. I can sing Baby Shark and I can sing stuff like that because my little one needs it. Oh, by the way, before I forget, make sure you do the review exercise today. Do not forget about this. Do the review exercise. Make sure you nail today's lesson and don't leave anything to chance. So what's the quadratic formula, just to finish it off then? Oh, God, embarrassing. Right, how's it go? The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared subtract 4ac all over 2a. There you go. I did it. I hated it. I said I'd never sing it again, but I did it one last time. This is for a very select crowd, you guys in the chat. It will never be heard again. So I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, it was a real pleasure to work with you guys. This isn't over forever. It's just as the schools open back up and Mr. Arnold's wife and my wife go, they'll have to go back to school and stuff. It just makes 2 o'clock and these sessions very difficult. But please do the packs. Angela worked really hard at the packs to make sure June, July and August works for you guys. Don't give up. Don't stop now. Monday, 2 o'clock at your desk. Doing the sessions. You can do it. All right, guys. Take care. It was such a pleasure. Make sure you do a shout out on Twitter for us. You like and subscribe. You share the playlist with your friends. Give us a shout out on Twitter if you found it helpful. And we really love hearing that. It makes our day. We're gonna miss this 2 o'clock. We're gonna miss it a lot. We loved it. We thought you guys were great. Maybe we'll bring this community back together one day, because I think we had a good community here. So it's not over forever. Just get through June, July, August. I believe in all you guys. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. See ya. And my baby's waking up anyway, so I really have to go. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.